Good morning, this is Kellaland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A Sioux Falls police officer is injured after responding to a welfare check on Tuesday.
Police arrived to the home on the east side of town just before 10 p.m. Authorities say they were met with gunfire from the suspect inside of the caller's garage.
Gunfire continued and one of our police officers was shot. Officers returned fire and the suspect, who was identified as a 55-year-old Sioux Falls resident, was later found to be deceased.
The officer who was shot was taken to the hospital with serious non-life-threatening injuries. The investigation has been turned over to the DCI.
A woman who is facing kidnapping and burglary charges was back at the Minnehaha County Courthouse on Wednesday. Lalana Sitting Up pled no contest to aggravated assault charges in connection with an alleged armed kidnapping of a baby boy in March last year.
Sitting Up's attorney told the judge she believed a jury could find her guilty of pointing the gun during the incident, and that's why she pleaded no contest. Sitting Up pleaded not guilty to kidnapping and burglary charges in October.
A Hughes County grand jury indicted an Iowa man in connection to a July 4th crash that killed a 9-year-old girl north of Pierre.
38-year-old Zachary Berger faces 8 charges, including vehicular homicide and second-degree manslaughter. He was driving a UTV and tried to turn around before the vehicle rolled. A 16-year-old boy also suffered minor injuries.
Berger is being held on a $50,000 bond. His next court appearance is July 28th.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Mudd. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. It looks like today we'll have temperatures in the 80s. Some may hit the 90s. If that happens, that may happen across the plains of western South Dakota. And that's a location we'll have to watch for developing thunderstorms, some which may be strong to severe in western Kettleland. And that will hold off until late this afternoon and for this evening. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Sanaa's 8th Street Gourmet is holding a fundraiser to raise money for the town of Highmore.
Last month, Highmore was hit by a thunderstorm that had 130-mile-per-hour winds, which damaged about 85% of the town. According to a video posted on Facebook by the owner of the restaurant, Sanaa Abaresk, 50% of the money raised this weekend is going to Highmore.
And the other 50% will go to World Central Kitchen. The fundraiser will be held this Sunday from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Hundreds of pet owners in need can now make sure they're able to feed their animals thanks to a donation.
Mini Critters and the Sioux Falls Canaries held a Jersey auction to raise money. They were able to buy over 8,000 pounds of pet food to donate to the Faith Temple Food Giveaway.
They'll be greatly surprised that we have this much dog and cat food. And of course, they'll be happy because dog and cat food is expensive, just like human food. And so they'll be overwhelmed with knowing that it's available.
The food took up 4 pallets of space and was brought to the church Wednesday morning.
A number of national artists will take the stage this weekend in Sioux Falls.
The Lallycooler Music Festival is set for tomorrow and Saturday at the Birdcage. That's a distinct change of location from a year ago when the event took place at Great Bear Recreation Park.
CEO Darren Smith says they simply listen to festival goers.
That's the big thing from year 1 to year 2. We listen to them. They want to drive themselves to the festival. They want to ride share to the festival. They want to get dropped off at the festival. They want parking. They want it in the middle of the city, the heart of the city.
Lallycooler kicks off tomorrow featuring headliner Darius Rucker and continues Saturday with a lineup led by Jason Derulo. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching your weather forecast for the weekend. Well, it's obviously going to be above normal and heating up. And today, well, we're in the 80s, which is pretty close to average for this time of the year, right around 83 by 7 o'clock. But let's watch the weather today in western South Dakota. There is the risk of some severe weather that is including Rapid City. Also, it includes folks here just a little west of Mobridge. So bottom line is anything that pops up on radar today has the potential to produce hail and damaging winds. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's a look at it on Futurecast. And we've also had a couple of sprinkles and light activity in northwest Iowa, but that should not be a major headline today. I think Sioux Falls will stay out of that. And then watch all those spots on radar in western South Dakota. Again, scattered thunderstorms pretty likely in that corridor of the western Kettleland. And then whatever does fire up, likely takes a turn to the south and the southeast. So instead of going into eastern South Dakota, it's likely going to take that path into central Nebraska and then weaken. There's another little system up into eastern North Dakota. Late tonight, we might see some thunderstorms trying to move into the far northeastern tip of Kettleland. We'll see if those survive and hold together, but it's possible that that could be an occurrence. And even tomorrow afternoon, there's a possibility here we might be able to flare up a couple of storms north of Brookings. So it's not as if there isn't any rain around, but it's going to be harder and harder to hunt around for it, I think, as we go into the extended forecast. Obviously, as the depth of the heat in the atmosphere builds into next week, that's going to put a big old cap on the atmosphere. And then we kind of bake out in the 90s, very likely. We're keeping a close eye on those extended forecast numbers to see how high into the 90s we go. It'll really come down to dew points. You know, if the corn and the crops can push enough moisture out, that'll keep the humidity a little higher. But if that does not occur as much as, and of course right now we're looking at our forecast tending to be a little bit lower on humidity at times. So it's a little bit of a drier heat or kind of leaning into that idea. So that's why your Aberdeen forecast is a little higher on temperature. Now, there are going to be certainly points at which the humidity can spike. I don't want to take that out of the forecast. But again, windy days, that'll probably also be something next week we'll deal with, a south wind. And anytime the wind starts to crank up a little bit more, it tends to mix out the atmosphere. So that's why we've got 100-degree heat here for Pierre on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Not at record levels, but, you know, pretty hot. And for Rapid City, too, there's a lot of 100-degree heat starting this weekend. So stay cool the best you can. More coverage with the weather online at kettleland.com.